if I had three descriptors for this RV, it would be lightish, weight, open, and well built. This is a 2025 East to West Silver Lake 1700 BHLE, and I really like what they did for a family floor plan. Now, the reason I say lightish weight is, if you take a look, I mean, there's tall ceilings, right? I have 81-inch ceiling height. I have an 8-foot wide box in here, so it's pretty big for being a single axle travel trailer. But with that being said, if you have like a Jeep Grand Cherokee or Nissan Pathfinder, something where you can tow like 6,000 pounds, this just might be the perfect travel trailer for you. Starting off with the fact it has a slide out, and I really like when they, kind of take a lighter weight travel trailer and are able to fit a slide in, because it really opens the space up, especially when you have one like this with the Murphy bed. And this is not a shallow slide. Like, if you take a look at how deep this dinette is, you have a ton of space here. So, I mean, I can easily fit another person, probably even, an adult and maybe a small child here. It's just a really big table, which I appreciate because I personally like to play a lot of games when we go camping. And so with a bigger dinette, it gives me a bigger table, allows more space to be able to spread some of the games out, because some of them do take up a decent amount of space. Another thing I really like about the table is, even though it's not like a pedestal table, this is probably my favorite table in an RV setup, well, at least for like a travel trailer. So even though this leg, again, isn't the most attractive, what they did is, instead of giving a second leg, they attached it to the wall. And by doing that, it makes this table incredibly sturdy, which, again, I would rather have than have pedestals that are slightly better looking, but make the table basically rock everywhere. You also see there's windows all the way around in this slide, letting in a ton of natural light. Of course, an LED light there, USB ports on both sides as well. Making our way back a little bit, a couple things I do want to hit on. It is prepped if you want the Lippert Bluetooth speaker, so you can get that and be able to attach it right there. It is kind of nice. It's already pre-wired, makes things a little bit easier. You can see the thermostat right here. Would love to turn this on for some AC, because it is quite warm today, but you can see the roof mounted AC right up top. It does have like some quick dump features on there as well, which is pretty great. Then this is where the TV will go right here as well. So you have a great view, again, from the dinette or from the sofa or in bed, which we can see in just a little bit. And as I mentioned previously, 81-inch ceiling height, so at 6 foot tall, it's still plenty big. Now, something else that, one of the things I mentioned is excellent construction. And I think Silver Lake, especially for its price point, that's something that you really need to kind of lock in, because it's things like this for me, right? If you take a look at the door, one of the things you'll notice is it's a full privacy door here on the bathroom. You don't have a gap up top. You don't have a gap down below. And that's a big deal for me. I like to keep the romance alive. I don't want a bunch of smells and stuff wafting out here. But even more importantly than that is the fact that it's framed out in wood, like you would have in a home. So many RVs, especially in this price point, are going to frame out with like a plastic trim. And I'm telling you, go in there, you can pull it off the wall. It flexes. When you go to open or close a door, that plastic trim will flex. That is not the case when it's framed out in wood like this. There's only been a few other manufacturers to do this in a travel trailer, and Silver Lake is one of the only ones I know that do it at this price point. And again, I'm just a big fan of the fact that they do. Coming into the bathroom here, I'll sit on the toilet, and, at 6 foot, I'm gotta be honest, it is a little tight here for the knees. So if you're a taller person, this may be something that you want to test out before you pull the trigger on this one. But other than that, everything else here is pretty good. You have pretty good countertop space, a little bit of storage here, but they kind of maximize it by giving you that additional storage underneath. So you even have enough space for like a smaller trash can, which I like. Mirrored medicine cabinet here as well. And then you also get the on-demand instant hot water heater, which I am a big fan of. And at 6 foot tall, if I stand up in here, I can fully stand up without ducking my head down. Again, thanks to those 81-inch high ceilings. Of course, hand wand here, you get just a standard shower curtain as well. I would have liked to have seen one where they have like the roller kind of doors. I do like those a little bit better than the curtain, because the curtain makes a little bit of a mess, but throw a towel down. It's definitely not a deal breaker at all. The other thing I really like about this floor plan is that it is double over double bunks. And what that means, if you're kind of new to RVing, just means that the bunks are going to be twice as wide, right? They're just a lot bigger. which makes them a lot more appropriate for an adult if you have any adults staying the night, or if you have like 2 kiddos per bunk, kind of gives you the capability to do that. And then if we take a look underneath, you will see just huge storage space, which I love because so many times in these floor plans, there's no place for the kids' clothes, and that is not going to be the case in this one. Also, not only do they put a light up top, but they also put a light in the bottom of the bunk. I really like when you have a light in the bottom bunk as well, because a lot of times, again, at this price point, they just try to basically try to save a little bit of cash, and many times you don't get that. The refrigerator, if you start to move into the kitchen, is a 10.7 cubic foot fridge. It is 12 volt compressor driven, so it'll run off your batteries. And 10.7 is plenty big. And you know, years ago, like 3-4 years ago, everything was like 6 or 8 cubic foot. Now that they've gone to the 12 volt compressor, everything is getting much bigger. And I personally definitely prefer that as well. Opening up here, the bottom drawer, it's brand new, a little tight there. But you can see you get a little bit of storage, additional storage space, as well as good storage underneath the kitchen. You'll see that you have 3 good compartments. Well, this one's kind of shared, so technically 2, but 3 doors worth of compartments here, which is honestly in a kitchen this size is phenomenal. You'll also see that you have a drawer. I would have liked to have seen 2 a lot of times in a kitchen, but I will take 1. Again, you had my opinion. You have to have at least 1 to make it functional. Underneath that is going to be the direct vent furnace, helping to keep things nice and toasty in here. Not that I need it today. I am definitely sweating. But you will see that the kitchen countertop is pretty deep. I do like that. 2-burner cooktop in order to give you more prep space. They also give you the sink top cover, so that helps too. And then you get the square undermount bowl there with the high-rise faucet. Nice big window as a backsplash, which I actually really like that manufacturers are doing this because it really helps bring a lot of natural light into the kitchen. Of course, you also have a light underneath in case you're cooking at night. Big storage here up top. Being those 81-inch ceilings, you're going to get some pretty good storage height up top as well. And then, of course, we have the microwave there. Last couple things I do want to hit on before we get to the bed. I do just want to talk about the flooring. You will see that there isn't any carpet throughout this entire RV. They are going to use a 5/8-inch tongue and groove plywood. And then, of course, we have the lino here on top. You'll also notice that the slide out is a slight step up to get into the slide. But when we go outside, you'll see that's because they have underslung axles to help this RV sit a little bit lower. Because again, they expect you to be driving this with like a mid-size to a larger SUV. And so they don't want, a big sail up top. It makes it a little bit easier to tow when this is a little bit lower. And then right up front is the Murphy bed. So I personally really like this in this style of floor plan because it gives you this additional seating space. When you are ready to turn that into a bed, you can just pull these right here. You have the mattress that drops down, couple reading lights. I've had some people, especially with Murphy beds, you can throw on like a mattress topper. It actually makes it super comfortable. Then you can see the shelf up top there as well. And then over to this side is going to be a deep wardrobe. You can see how much space you have down below there too. Plus you also have electrical outlets and USB ports on both sides. With the slide in, you can see you have really good access to the refrigerator, full access to the bathroom, you have access to the bunks, and the Murphy bed will still drop down. Let's talk a little bit about construction. We'll start with tires and work our way up. So this one does sit on two 25/75 R15s. Those are going to be E load range tires. The underbelly, as I mentioned, is going to be fully enclosed and it is heated, but it's not going to be forced air heat. It will be radiant heat. The sidewall is going to be pretty standard construction here with 2-inch thick sidewalls and R7 bad insulation all the way around. The slide system on the other side is going to be the BAL Exact Slide, and that is a cable slide system. And then up top on the roof, this one utilizes the Tough Flex PVC roof membrane. It's going to be a little more puncture and tear resistant. It's also going to be resistant to sun and chemical and hardly requires any maintenance, especially compared to a rubber roof. But as you know, none of that matters if you can't tow it. So let's get into some weights. This one has a dry weight of 4,568 pounds, GVWR of 5,665. So right around 1,000 pounds of carrying weight, a little bit over. But again, with that 5,665, even if you load this sucker all the way up, which you probably wouldn't, If you have a tow vehicle that can tow 6,000 pounds, like I said, like a Nissan Pathfinder, Jeep Grand Cherokee, those are a couple good examples, or some of the more luxury, like an Audi Q7, things like that, then you will have no problem towing this one. You should be good. Obviously, if you have a bigger tow vehicle, you'll be good there too. Right up front, 20-pound propane tank. You can see some rails for battery disconnect. This is one of those simple things I just really like, you know, just flip it. No longer do you have to take your terminals and stuff off or take your lines off the battery terminal. Just flip that, you're good to go. Also see you have a little bit of kind of diamond plating helping to protect that front end, and you get the smooth aluminum front, which I also really like, just because it looks a lot cleaner and it's easier to clean all the bugs and stuff that are going to get smashed on the front during travel. If we take a look at the pass-through storage, you'll see that it does have a magnetic catch, and even though this is a Murphy bed, you actually still get full pass-through. Well, not full pass-through, but you do get pass-through here, which I think is awesome, because far too often on a Murphy bed, it just cuts that off completely, and so you don't get very usable storage. I think they did a really good job, and everything in there is completely finished off, so that it is a little bit easier to take things in and out, and it just looks a heck of a lot nicer too. You get the foldable grab handle, so it's a little bit easier to enter and exit with the double steps right here. Power awning up top with an LED light strip, and underneath that is TV hookup in the event that you want TV outside. And if you have more than just your regular kids, if you have four-legged kids as well, you got a little spot to hook them up right there. And if you need to crack a cold one, or maybe an IBC root beer, something like that, well, you get a bottle opener right outside here. You also see a propane quick connect. If you notice, this one, even though it's a bunk model, doesn't have like a built-in outside kitchen, but it does have the propane quick connect, so you can still hook up like your Blackstone Razor, something like that. And then coming around the side, they put the water access here too, the outside shower, so you kind of have, you know, like a pseudo almost sink if you have like a bin, something like that. So it's still kind of workable for that outside again, the outside kitchen feel. You're just kind of missing the fridge. City water inlet will be located right back here, and you will also notice that that is the on-demand tankless water heater. Again, they put all this under that bunk, but kept the inside open to be able to utilize all that storage inside. You can see that your spare tire is mounted to the square tubular bumper. And if you take a look up top, we'll have a couple different preps. One is going to be your backup camera prep right there in the center. Coming over a little bit is your Lippert ladder prep, so you can get the extendable ladder and be able to climb up onto the fully walkable roof, because underneath that PVC roof membrane is going to be a 3/8-inch decking, making it fully walkable. You can see the 30-amp power cord just plugs right into there. That is detachable. Your termination will be located here, just as a single termination. Black tank flush. Love having that on a smaller RV, so that way you can just hook it up. You don't have to stick a hose down the toilet. Your cable and satellite, as well as fresh tank fuel, will be located up here. Last thing I want to touch on real quick outside, you can see on the slide out right there, this one is prepped for slide out topper. So if you want that, it does make it a lot easier to have it installed. Now, if you really like this one as a family travel trailer, but it's a little bit heavy, maybe your tow vehicle can tow 5,000 pounds and not 6,000, well, then the Silver Lake 1610 BHLE just might be what you're looking for. I got it coming up next.